Well, we'd like to welcome you again to another presentation here of our broadcast in the Issues Room. Today is July 16th, and this is our 247th production. We just got signal that we'll not be on X, and so we'll try to figure out what's going on there. But for now, we're still on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So we'd like to welcome you. Thank you for joining us. The hope is we'll get that ratified with regards to X. But in the meantime, let's do it together here, as usual, on Facebook. We'd like to thank you for joining us. If you can just share our link tonight. The hope is that Moses and Alphonso will join at some point. But I just like to begin by saying thank you for being loyal, especially to my man Hashim Fambule. It's always good to see you come through for us. And please invite others to join us here tonight. Of course, I know people talk about um, competing priorities. And of course, even on social media, so many people have something to tell you and organizations as well as podcasters. And so, yes, you got to find time to, spread yourself, and it's understandable. If you didn't watch live, you can always come back. That's the beauty of the uh, data being restored in a repository where you can come back and find the podcast. So, our 247th broadcast tonight will cover an array of issues, but one key thing will be introduced momentarily. But in the meantime, I'd like to share with you that uh, starting September 15, 2024, we will change our broadcast day and time, and we'll broadcast only once a week. This is a serious commitment. And the other brothers and myself, things are becoming a little difficult in our private lives, and we have to survive. This is our contribution to good governance in Liberia, our contribution to nation building, our contribution to holding people accountable to the rule of law, especially in Liberia, our contribution to the discourse, with the hope that as we discuss these things, we can help to enlighten. And that is why the issues room was established. We wanted to do this at least twice a week, but from the look of things, as you can see, the running strip there says beginning September 15, 2024, TRR will broadcast once a week on Sunday only at 3 p.m., 7 p.m. GMT, or 8 p.m. when the time changes. And I think once a week is good enough. As I said, too many podcasts, too many people getting involved. And, we're not here to compete with anyone. We have our full-time jobs. We have private lives. We have other projects we're doing within organizations, so it's just compelling for us to revisit, things. We're not trying to run away or shut the podcast down, but we want to also be able to reach out to the Liberian audience. That is very critical. So coming on at 3 o'clock on a Sunday is about 7 p.m. in Liberia. People ain't got to say, oh, I was in church. And here also people don't have to say I was in church. The other thing is we want to be able to bring a lot of Liberian guests too. If we were broadcasting the late time that we broadcast, someone will have to be here with us midnight into 1 o'clock in the morning. And if they have to go to work on a Wednesday because our broadcast is Tuesday, that's a lot to ask of folks. So we want to make it much more feasible, doable, and hopefully hold that commitment to you, our viewers, and at the same time you commit to us. So again, please, we begin to promote this change, and it doesn't take place this month. Neither does it take place August, and not the first week and the second week, but in the third week, which the day after our 3-year anniversary as the Issues Room podcast here in social media world will be 3 years old on September 14 when we launched our maiden production. So we'll be at that day, we'll talk about. I mean, rather on that day will be our anniversary, and then on Sunday we'll start our broadcast officially. We'll recap some of the things that we've done in the 3 years. We'll talk about other things that we anticipate to do, and so we just wanted to make sure that we begin to tune you up for that change. We didn't want it to be abrupt. We had it took some deliberations to be able to uh, do this, and so we understand that this is a lifelong commitment. But in the same token, we have to do it in a way that we are able to maintain, the podcast going. Um, the other podcasters maybe they have different schedules in their lives. Some people may not be working. There may be the retirement and they can afford to come on every day and do it for the fun of it. Some people have the money already to be able to do this so they don't have to work. So many variables, but we're not going to look at those variables and try to talk about it. We just want to focus on what we are able to do as three colleagues who have come together to continue to, again, as I said, enlighten, talk to the Liberian people, share in the conversation. And let me bring in Moses. Sandy, Moses, I've already began talking about where we're going. Businesses. That's our strategic plan. You understand?
Yeah.
You have to strategize and you have to have a vision. And when you design your strategic plan, you have to put it in motion. And so we're going to be changing things around in September.
Yeah, let me say thank you for taking the lead on that. It's good that you already started informing our people because we respect them. Without these people, we won't be here. It's good to give them prior notice so they can begin to make their own adjustments in their schedules. They follow us consistently, so we need to respect them, and it is good that we are doing this. So, like Volcano said, that is something that we thought it through. Our schedules are very hectic. You know what it means having a full time commitment.
There's a little bit of
Yeah.
shuffling going on around you there. I don't know
Okay.
that
Do
you
you
heard
hear Do you hear me now?
it's not a matter of hearing you. I say there's a little
Uh,
bit of shuffling going on. I don't
okay.
know what you're touching, but it's creating a little annoyance.
Is this still happening?
No, let's go.
Okay. So as I was saying, we have a full time commitment here and other things that we are doing happening in our life. Again, taking into consideration our people back home. We really, really, really want to begin to touch the hearts of people in Liberia because we've been around for a while now, and it is good for us to
It's
really
still
touch
happening,
people on the
Moses. It's
ground.
still
Yeah.
happening. Are you holding on to something? Are you touching, rubbing?
No.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
It, maybe
Yeah.
it's I think it's the sharpness of your microphone.
Very sure. Yeah.
Sometimes when the microphone,
Okay.
no, hold on,
Uh,
quickly, hold on.
mhm.
When the microphone is too loud, every little sound is annoying. So just try to
Yeah.
lower it a little bit. Maybe you open
Okay.
modulating.
Yeah. You know. Right now it's okay, right? Uh.
Let's just
Uh. Um.
compare it.
Yeah. We like I was saying. We have a very high degree of respect for our people, and we look forward to making this work. So please bear with us. Volcano, it's a pleasure being here again tonight. Uh, I know tonight is going to be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Raymond Clark, for joining us here. Also
Hmm.
to James David, who said thank you. Please share the word. Please encourage others to join us here tonight on our 247th broadcast. Of course, we continue Tuesdays and Fridays between now to September 15. We
Hmm.
turn on a new page. Open the book to once a week broadcast. And of course, we know you will be committed. The time will change, but it will also afford all of us the opportunity to be able to hang out together. We contemplated a lot and put a lot into making this decision. One of the things that Moses said that we really want to reach Liberia. We were able to look at the analytics. We looked at the data. Most of our following are in Liberia in terms of following, but people who really tune in are the people who are here in America because of the timing, and it's kind of depressing for us when we are trying to really speak to the people in Liberia. So Sundays 3 p.m. September 15, 2024, in America, 7 p.m. in Liberia, and then in the fall into winter will be 8 p.m. In Liberia, and that will afford us a greater interaction propensity, like Liberian men say, to draw in more members in the audience. But Moses, our
Yeah.
conversation here tonight is a critical one, and
Yeah.
um,
Critical.
we thought to talk about this because it has become, just before that, let me just acknowledge Tony and Brooks. Thank you for joining us from historic Trenton, New Jersey, where Trenton makes the word takes. Uh,
Yeah.
do we have a duality of president in the country? Are there two presidents in the country? Why are we going to hold this conversation? Because it has become a divided country, where a former president is not acting like a former president. He's still acting like he's the president, and his following, meaning the people, his lieutenants, are pretending or still in a euphoria or a state of disbelief that they're no longer in that situation. And so, no, when I say in power, I
Mhm.
will say,
Yeah. Political
yeah,
authority.
because
Yeah.
some of them are still in power. Some of them
Yeah.
are senators.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you
At the
get.
level of the presidency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So Hashim is asking what the topic for today. This is what we're about to talk about. Do we have two presidents in Liberia? Because from what we continue to experience since President Bouaka took office, the former president is still acting like a president. Let you gloss over a little bit, and then I'll go to some evidence as per
Yeah.
video that we were able to find to support this argument.
Great question, Volcano. Like you, like most intelligent Liberians, it beats our imaginations that a former president will want to portray himself that is in some form of competition with an incumbent president. It is far fetched, it is preposterous that Mr. Weir and his followers will want to do stuff like this. You know, I always say, sometimes when I look at the way these guys conduct themselves as a mental health specialist, and I've said this consistently, that what George Weir and the CDC folks, Natana McGill, Thomas Fowler, Akawas Gray, and other idiots, let me say that, other fools, that's what I meant. In the CDC, what they are struggling with is what we call in mental health grief and loss. Mr. Weir just cannot imagine that he's no longer president. He's completely in denial. But the reality of the situation, Volcano, is that we have a new president. So the president and the CDC folk have to go through the stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and get to the level of acceptance that Joseph Boaka is of no joke. He's president. The current situation is undoable. He has a 6-year term. So Joe, we are running around, all these CDC folks running around, literally, endangering the safety of our young people, putting them in the streets. When he travels abroad, he's coming back, he tells people to go line around. And come and receive me at the Roberts International Airport. George, we are here are now a former president. I can tell you, I think the current administration is laid back. Uh, Volcano, you and I, we cover Liberia. We cover Liberia in the media. Do you think Mr. Weir would have been drunk to do what he's doing if Charles Taylor was, if he were president of Liberia today?
Meaning,
Charles Taylor.
if Charles,
If Charles Taylor
hold on, hold on,
is president of Liberia today,
no, hold on
Well,
now.
George, we are do what he's
No,
doing.
no, hold on. I want to say it the way you need to say it. Say that if Weah was a former president and Taylor took over from him,
Yes,
eh, and
I
he's
agree.
president now,
Yeah,
he
Taylor is
all
president now.
the
Yeah.
things that he's doing,
Hmm.
coming to RIA,
Hmm.
having his official government who's going to be in the current government, some of them
Yeah, they are.
go on the airport and line the turnpike.
Mhm.
Who gave them who even gave them clearance to go where the plane's supposed to land to meet with God and Savior? At
But
what point?
but
He's a former president. He's not no longer the president and needs a military guard of honor that you
he
got to
doesn't.
spread copy and lapa to receive him.
Mhm.
Y'all gonna do that, y'all go to smell notice. Y'all go to Joblo Town, y'all go in the curve. Y'all can go
Yeah,
down the route on that side. But you can impede the movement of
of people.
passengers, international guests who are coming in, all because you want to create a fanfare. What
So
nonsense is this?
absolute nonsense.
What primitive behavior is this? And you take pride in that. You have
Hmm.
your Jamaica Road Resort. They can go wait there at your intersection and welcome you, and other y'all can go in the fence and enjoy your merriment.
That's it.
But this nonsense has to stop.
It
And
has.
President Barker must put his foot down and let people say, "Oh, they deprived the man." No, no, no. He has his private jet. Fine, he can land it. You can come down and you can follow the protocol. Go through the VIP if they give you the privilege to. But you don't come all run the doggone airport with crowd as if to say you president,
Not. And
and
you
you
put
don't
a
have
well.
crowd control. And then the other thing to it is that
Hmm.
you have a certain representative talking about the government is treading wrong in Musa Hassan ability,
Hmm.
that the government should not be deploying the army, but you have an adequate amount of police officers who are not equipped. Now, when we
And
go to the video and you see the crowd, what if something takes place? Who's going to be blamed? Who
and
gave them the clearance
absolutely.
to go
And
behind on the tarmac, on the road?
on the tarmac, we're not talking about standing in front
But,
of the Roberts International
in fact,
Airport or
in fact,
departure era.
no, Moses, in
Yeah,
fact, here in America, where do you see the crowd at Philadelphia International? In fact, when you slow down, even take your
they
suitcase,
tell you to move on.
you to move on.
Move on.
Then you can't take country crowd and can't put it up there.
Man,
What type of country is this?
you got one country boy who became president overnight
Is this?
and thinking that
Wait, we
should
should
be
go.
worshipped.
Maybe we'll go back.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. I think if you want to roll a tape,
I'm gonna
yeah,
go now to the one
yeah.
on the turnpike.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I won't go to the crowd. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to the one on the turnpike.
yeah.
So yeah, Mr. Weah come with his private jet that he said a friend borrowed him. But
Mhm.
up to now, he send the people jet back here. It means that his jet.
Yeah, John.
This is
Okay,
Akara's
hello
grade
and
in the
welcome
hood.
to Spoon TV Live. We are here at the Roberts International Airport.
And by the way, we borrowed this from Spoon Network, so we want to give them credit that we're utilizing their clip here to
Mhm.
portray our conversation tonight that we're about
Where
to talk
the
about.
arrival of former Liberian President George Money Weah is taking place, and we want to show you the officials of the CDC that are here. You see the officials of the CDC that are here already. Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala is here. Riverside County Senator um, so it's Riverside County Senator Bill Tuawe, Akaras Grade, former District 8 representative. Okay. Yeah, go back. You go back. No, you go back. You go back. You see, we get instruction. Yeah, so we found the protocol at the airport. Yeah, yeah. It's right upon the protocol. Yes, in the web line. That's right. Excuse me. Go behind the safety line. You can't be on the answer when you're not. You don't have safety line.
Oh, so let's stop there. You allow nonsense, and now you want to correct it.
Yeah.
Seeing the people don't have safety gear, so they cannot pass over the line.
Mm-hmm.
But why did you allow them there in the first place?
Very good
This
question.
airplane supposed to come following the standards and safety protocols of aviation.
Mm-hmm.
Just take away Liberia Airport, but aviation.
Yeah.
This is not a national guard of honor. The military is not there set up for officials to line up. You're acting like your man, you never saw him before. The man in the country. So every time the man run to Ghana to go enjoy it, say he come back, you gotta go line up.
I line around, yeah.
Then you the security now, you allow the people there, then you want to correct the crap you made. Let's continue and let me see if I can.
That's right. That's right. Akaros went into.
So the Carl's great man decided to go in the plane to island. He just arrived.
He's the protocol man. He went to let the man know that if you want to go.
People are outside and ready. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for that clarification, more.
Greet the former president.
Greet the representative.
And you know, we use words so loosely.
Mhm.
We call these people dignitaries. For real, Moses, I just
They are not. They are not.
all right. Let's continue.
Like the plane.
I hear it. Your whole idiot thing, Alphonso.
The judge is very fresh and prepared to come back to the presidency. The judge is very fresh. What I just saw, judge is the next president coming to the country. Very prepared. There's the original leader of this country here now.
Listen to that. The original. Well, he understands the word original to be.
But Volcano,
Leader of Liberia is Joseph Jenkins Roberts.
I told you earlier that Mr. Weah mobilized a group of idiots, a group of talks, and put them in the streets. Alphonso is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Let's go.
I mean, what I just saw, Georgia is
Wonderful impression.
Georgia is very healthy, and Georgia is prepared for 2029. The activity starts today. The activity of the return starts today. And I just looked at the plane. I saw Georgia. I mean, Georgia is very good.
Will there be any plane program today?
Play what?
Is there any plane program today?
I mean, every day is a program with Georgia. Every day is a program. We don't have special program at the plane. I mean, go to me.
And he's right. Every day is a program for them.
Of
Every
course.
day they wasted the country's time.
Mhm.
Play around. Look how he's talking. There's some footballer, talking about the captain coming on and they're coming to win the game.
Well, I mean, that's part of the delusion. The man's out of touch with reality.
It's a magnet.
That's it.
Say man was a drawer and a money changer.
Back in the plane.
So the former president is about to step out of his flag,
Yeah.
and he will.
All right. So let's look at this. Jared, crowd of ball when to go meet a crowd of ball.
Yeah.
This is laughable.
Mhm. Extremely laughable.
You got Lieutenant McGill. You got
The party chairman,
what
the guy, the Kamal guy from
from
Logan Town.
Logan Town. Where is
Yeah.
Abu
Abu Kamara, former representative, Akawas Gray, our the focal gentleman who having to replace Mona, the late Mona Pena, and Bill Tuare,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But Volcano, if I can just say this quickly before you
yeah. Before
continue
I
with
bring
the
the man down
video.
from the plane.
Yeah, before you bring the man down. Volcano, when you see people behave like kids, people who supposed to be in the position of trust, making rational decisions on behalf of a country, when you see these people conducting themselves as a bunch of idiots, it makes you to wonder where is the country headed. Natana Magil, Bill Torre, these people, don't they know that Liberia community has a duly elected president? Don't they see what they're doing as creating unnecessary distraction in the country? What is the relevance of this? What are they trying to prove? Let me give it to you.
And again, like we talked about, this will not happen with Charles Tiller.
Oh no, man.
This will not happen with Samuel Doe. Your time over. Go in your corner and let me lead the country.
Mhm.
Don't come here with all this kind of foolishness. Don't come here with it.
The official of his party. Some of them went to greet him. He was sitting in his seat in the flag. So on the flag. So they have decided to land up here. So there is a former first lady.
See, brother.
Here is former Liberia President George Weah.
So, former first lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the former president is now coming.
They still spending Liberian people money riding private jet. The man was playing football. He couldn't even afford SUV before I say helicopter.
Awesome. You can see it right now. It's not easy to win it.
I'm surprised
And Moses, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
This is what I would call reliving the past.
Yeah.
He's reenacting when he used to go and come back.
Without fanfare.
Yeah, and then when General asked him, he said, "You asking who president why I brought back to the country, but you went to go sit down and fool around, So this is what the guy enjoys, and so let's keep doing it until 2029 because they're so optimistic that this man going to be president, and
That's like
I'm getting see when they arrive out just to receive the president. But I'm not surprised we got down from
But Mo, here's the other thing. Maswa Kimaya is still foreign minister on his side.
The man's foreign minister in the grave. Look, Volcano, this is extremely laughable. It is preposterous when you see adult behaving the children, my man.
You think that these guys that look so stupid
Very stupid.
in the roles, in the roles, positions they don't have anymore.
My man, the guys just cannot believe that they are no longer in power, my man.
So that the motorcade,
Yeah.
really small Nissan instead of out of the motorcade.
Yeah. Yeah. You see?
but George Weah is a good man.
Can you imagine that?
George Weah is a good man.
we are
George Weah is a very good man.
with
He's the greatest man
the
on
district
earth.
number now,
The greatest
lawmaker.
Liberian on earth.
So the district now lawmaker.
Look at this kind of nonsense statement. The greatest man on earth, but the greatest Liberian on earth. Look,
Yeah.
listen to that guy.
Yeah.
Listen to this person. So that means you already depleted your own value,
Yeah.
the potential to be even better
Mhm.
than George Weah.
Mhm.
When you declare
Joe, we are the greatest.
be the greatest man on earth, then you correct yourself and say the greatest Liberian.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And this man represents the whole district in the
because has
national
boarded our
legislation.
vehicle and he just singing praises on his
The
leader.
greatest
You,
Liberian
Because
is
when
you,
just we are. You
you,
just said
you,
that.
you see the
We are very
disappointment we
clever. We
have
are
in the
peaceful people.
country. You see the disappointment we have
Mhm.
in the country. You have a Safoko who does not even understand the relevance of the position he occupies, and he running behind a loser, calling the man the greatest man in the world. Is this guy not being delusional? Does he live in a utopia? He lives in a dream world.
But I see why the guys are doing this. And let me pause this and come and bring us full screen. I see why they're doing this. This man changed their lives. Not in a way that they deserved it.
Mhm.
Not because he paid the school fees, they went, got quality
No,
education,
no, no.
like took great jobs in the country and made meaningful impact. But in ways that they were squattlers, boys with nothing, and he put them in positions that they couldn't do
Even
anything
perform,
with.
right?
They couldn't perform with no accountability, with no check and balance. They put money in the budget for these institutions and they pocketed them. Just before we came to the show,
Yeah.
I was listening to Spoon
Hmm.
Network, Spoon Talk actually, and Mame Ambula Mame was disclosing some of the latest release,
Other reports,
audit report. The EPA, not
the
EPA,
EPS.
the EPS, where the Social Security money that was deducted 4% from the salaries of people who were performing the tax protecting the elite class, the monies that were taken to put at NASCOP never reached. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over the 6 years. None of the monies were given to NASCOP for the retirement.
Mhm.
The other thought says that they didn't have the kinds of
No record.
mechanism to sustain record to show how the money was funneled. And so as a result, there is no evidence of where the money went, but there's evidence the money was collected because pay stubs show that. You tell me, Moses, you tell me, why is Boycott dragging his feet?
I don't understand.
You need to nab some of these guys now and start conscripting them. Take the shites off, just like the so-called PRC tried those innocent people who did. I mean, when I say innocent in the context of which they didn't give them the
Hmm.
best practice of law, they quickly put a 2 week tribunal up and just bam, bam, bam. By the time they look 13 men on the pole, bam, you kill them on the premise of corruption. You come back and you're worse, and that corruption has been breathed down up to 2024, and we're still experiencing the same thing.
Hmm.
Nothing is happening. That is why these guys have the audacity to take to the airport to say George Weah is the greatest man. He's president, he's poised, he's back for 2029 when you're 7 months in power. And because you're snailing, because you I don't know, there's a fear or whatever, or maybe you are contemplating what your government gonna do worse than his. That is why kind of like, okay, we're gonna do all the report, but yes, at least we said we'll do it and we did it. But what's the action taken? Because there's resources to do all the report. You
Hmm.
take the Liberian people tax dollars money and you put it into doing audit report, and the audit reports come on your desk, and we're still dragging 7 months later. That is why you use the word emboldened these people to continue to do what they do and play around as if to say it's business as
As
usual.
usual. Yeah.
Because President Boyka and his associates are not taking the immediate actions when these things come about, just like we said we are did not, because why? We are knew what he will do. The fact that he inherited a country from Ellen that he claimed to be broke. He knew what he would do, and so he did not go after Ellen. Are we sensing this, even though other reports are coming up? And let's call a spade a spade. He had to
You
say,
know, a very good question. That's why a few months ago I wrote an article asking the Boaka administration to conduct an audit of the inaugural committee. And some insiders of the government reached out to me. Oh, but Moses, it was just $650,000. You're telling us we should leave millions of dollars and go after $650,000? And I told some of them that, hey, if you want to come across as clean, you got to lay the foundation. You got to begin with yourself. When you begin with yourself, then the people will say, oh, well, the man did it. The man is clean. You will have that moral rectitude, that respect to conduct an audit. But if you have people in the administration that are doing things on official condition, take for example the current situation about the ICE moving equipment. See the level of secrecy around that. And the president comes and tells Liberians that a long-term friend of his gave him this machine. And he tells the people, oh, well, if you ain't want a machine there, I can tell the person to take it back.
tell me that.
That's very fishy.
That's and when you said there was no leadership in the country,
Yes.
you bring in leadership. But let's do a quick
Sure.
let's do a quick skit here.
Yeah.
The legislature mad, no documentation, no reach out to them to say, oh, we're
Nothing.
gonna do this. So they decided some of the two people who went to South Africa after they did the investigation, who put into fine print this deal, came back to the president and said, let the deal get on the way. People say, okay, we ain't sure that it's gonna happen, but let's wait and see. The wait and see attitude, all of a sudden, a ship comes or a vessel comes bringing this equipment. No institution that's supposed to be responsible for utilizing the equipment are there, but the very two people who went to procure the equipment,
They show up to receive them. Right?
or it's give or whatever, they are the ones running, and then they take the equipment and take it to the military barracks to go and put it there for safety.
Mhm.
Albeit, the legislature decides to bring these two people. Since the executive is not forthcoming, let's hear from them what's going on here. We see equipment coming in the country. My man, Sylvester Grisby and Memeka said, oh,
Belete.
Memeka, that was in Memeka.
Yeah.
Memeka.
Yeah, Maraka Belete, yeah. Go
So
ahead.
they tend to Bwaga, you Bwaga now. He said, well, Papi,
He
they
said,
think
oh,
serious now.
what would you, yeah.
Yeah, I come here. So we the one coming to you now. Papi, they think getting serious. Oh.
So where you want me to do now?
No, but the people call. The people say, "Oh, go there tomorrow." And what we going to tell them?
Leave for nothing. Yeah, don't worry about that thing. Look, Tema,
Papi, we must go. Papi, we must go.
yeah, I say you're sent for my special assistant.
Oh, Papi, what we tell them now? We must go.
Give me a chance. I say you're sent for my special assistant and let him do a letter.
Okay.
Look, my man, tell Fonati that the machines take note. Say, okay, chief.
Mm-hmm.
In that letter, I want you to write that the machines they're talking about, those machines were donated by a long-time friend of mine.
So, Papi, what the man need now so I can put in the letter?
You don't have to worry about that. Just tell the people that what I say. Tell the people say the person who gave the machine is a long-time friend of mine.
But Papi, they will ask for the man need. If I
They
get
don't leave that one with me. Hey, I'm the president of Liberia. Why are you worrying yourself about that?
Okay, I was
Say
just.
the president say
Uh-huh.
the machines you're talking about here,
Mm-hmm.
that one of a long-time friend gave it to him.
Okay.
The government of Liberia, he paid $1. The man sent the machine, he paid all the money to bring the machine in the country. And then you tell
Okay,
the people,
okay, but yeah, but Omejo, let me
yeah,
understand the part. But when the machine get to the port now, you know the port will charge something to free the machine. Then what will do now? What will say?
I will tell Dukley,
Uh-huh.
the MD, how you ask me that question? I am president of Liberia. Dukley over there, it's just a phone call.
Okay.
So you leave all the other small things
So,
there. What I want you to do,
you see, Pape, you said it will
yeah,
not be business as usual. My fear here, the Liberian people are open. You see the way the legislator not call Memeka and where any
Sylvester,
huh? I want to put my hand writing in something, then they say that me wrote it. Then you will not take up for me tomorrow. I writing now your special assistant. I'm trying to write it. I won't be sure because Liberian people are open. They will ask questions. They will say who the man here that just sent all the machine in the country for free, and how will the machine just come through the free port for free too? Papa, we need to explain the thing good. The Liberian people are
but
open. Oh.
but what I'm telling you, and today is Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and that tomorrow the people supposed to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I want you all to do that letter tonight and send it to Fonati Kofa.
Okay.
Those people not going nowhere.
Okay.
I'm telling Kofa that we're making arrangement. My friend say they send some of the equipment. But the Liberian people ain't want it. My friend said they can take it back. If
Mm.
they want to sell it to people in the country, fine. So the thing here, government ain't pay nothing ya. Everything that my friend say he will handle it. So I know all the planet talking. Mama Kai ain't got to say nothing. Grace Ray ain't got to say nothing. The people you ain't got to tell the people who my friend is. I the one say that my friend. So
Okay.
you just go write a letter.
Okay. So Moses, based on this dramatization,
Yeah.
how do you make this up when you say that we have other reports that need to be addressed immediately, especially when the facts are there
Mhm.
and we see slow pacing? Because the president, who already shows that he has the power to seize the moment, where two of his confidants
Mhm.
are summoned by the legislature to appear to explain something that seems fishy, where there's public outcry, and he sends a letter that just
Yeah.
water it down.
Yeah, to whatever there, yeah.
Where are we going?
So
On the reports before we come back to Mr. Weir and his fanfare.
yeah, so like I was
So
saying,
we're talking about the lack.
yeah,
That is why
yeah.
people like we are then jumping all around the place and say he's
Mhm.
still doing military guard or no whatever.
Yeah. That's what the people say. Do you have the moral rectitude? Do you have that moral standing to question Moses standing for being a thief? When just the other day we caught you, breaking into somebody's account, or there's some suspicion that you are also dipping into other people's account and taking money without, their approval. And this is the struggle that the administration has now. The issue of the yellow machine and some of the funny things that are happening in the country. The $650,000, we did not see no report in the media, but the president writes a letter and saying that Miata family is one of the funniest citizens of Liberia. That's double standard.
And the UP money, the
Yeah,
party
the
money.
party chairman. The party chairman. Have you seen any report from the party chairman? Have you heard him in the media say anything? So if you got all these little stuff that you are not taking care of, then what makes you qualify to say Moses Sandy is a dishonest man? What makes you qualify? That moral standing, Volcano, that's where the people are stuck at right now.
Okay, let's go
They
back.
need, they need to address their own problem. Now let's come back to the bunch of thugs that show up at the airport. You know, if this
Oh, we are not
administration
here
is
for
determined,
trouble. We are using our
I will
regular
mute.
terminal. Even
I
though
will
we
mute.
make it
I will
now.
mute and let the video play while you talk.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead now.
Okay.
Let,
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is that these people first they broke the laws of the country. They are not. They should not be on the time. I mean, on the tarmac of the airport. That's a complete violation of the security protocol at the airport. Mr. Weah is no longer president of Liberia. He's a former president. He's now an ordinary citizen. The only respect is that he has is that he's allowed to use the VIP lounge. He's not president. He's not in competition with Mr. Boaka. That's what I said earlier. Had this been Charles Taylor, president, Republic of Liberia, do you think Mr. Weah would have, you know, uh, would have had the audacity to come displaying this kind of a thing that we see happening in this video? Taylor would deploy men over there. And that is not good for the peace and security of the country. This creates security, a problem. Some of these people who show up on that tarmac, I want to assume nobody even checked them.
absolutely.
That's a violation of the security protocol. How do you just take a group of people and allow them walk the tarmac of the airport, break the security protocol, only because somebody wants to compete? The days of competition are over. When George Weah was president for 6 years, you did not see Mr. Barker do that. You did not see Mr. Salih do what his George Weah is doing. This is undermining the authority of a constituted government. And I think Mr. Barker and his people need to contain this. George Weah has to understand that he's now a former president.
But let me ask something here. I may not understand this because from what I'm seeing here, these people are just walking through the airport. There's no security. They're not even talk to immigration. No check. No nothing. Who told you say because George Weah is former president, he can't come with drugs?
Of course.
I'm just being
I
hypothetical.
mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
You don't know all the people that were on that plane.
Already
You don't
dealing
know
with
the
drugs.
content of what they brought in the
Already
country.
dealing with serious drugs in the country.
Yeah.
And these people just walking, even though he's a former president. But it takes former leaders to get away with crimes,
Of course.
especially if they don't see themselves within the context of being citizens of the country. So I think that they should have gotten checked as because he's
Totally.
going through
Like
the
any
airport.
other person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's
Totally.
going through the airport. He's not
Yeah.
using the VIP
Yeah.
to stay. So if they're all just going through the airport as if to say everybody came off on that plane,
Mhm.
then there's an issue. How do we know if he didn't bring some foreigners for his own personal investment?
Yeah. How do we know?
How are we checking them?
How are we?
What type
How
of
are
country
we?
is this?
Yeah.
People just do whatever they want to do.
Mhm.
This, if Joshua were coming to this country, even though we know he's an American citizen, is that how he will walk through the airport?
Of course, he's not going to do that. He's not. And what George Weah has not understood is that this man and his people literally looted the public coffers of Liberia. They spent over $50 million. Liberians rejected him. Liberians rejected him. And he still doesn't get it that Liberians are no longer interested in him. He goes around, he throws a few dollars around, take a number of talks and put them in the street. All these hungry people behind him, a group of young people who are jobless, gave them a few $100 in the car at the airport and putting all this unnecessary scenery.
And let me pause this because it bothers me here. Say, for instance, I came through the airport. I'm expected
Yeah.
as a Liberian, to give my passport,
Mhm.
to go through the rigors of all my belongings checked, go through cameras, go through security check, and then I come outside. Here's a man who just walking scot-free,
Yes.
all kinds of people running through the airport, and I meet this kind of stampede.
Yeah.
What regards that have for me as a citizen and a taxpayer who's paying my fair share?
That's true.
Who pay my fair share? And not just only me. What is this image for guests who are coming
in the
to the
country.
Boycott government? I'm putting it this way, to the Boycott government. People who are tourists, who are coming into the country. You create this stampede, this illiterate way of thinking, irresponsible way of acting. This is nonsense to the highest.
Absolute nonsense.
People who are less busy, who don't have no time on their hand, go and line the airport and create this stampede.
Yeah, and only to wait for somebody who
does, they must shut down the peace and the
peace and stability of the country.
the free movement. That's what I want.
Yeah, the free movement of the people. Yeah.
They always got to do that. Then they feel that they're relevant. Oh no, you can still do your things in silence and be relevant.
Of course.
You build your party headquarters right on the main boulevard. One night during the campaign, I was stuck on the boulevard for more than 6 hours.
Wow.
Just sitting there in the car. Nothing moved, no movement. You can't go back because you're already inside it. 6 long hours for nonsense and only for him to lose the elections. What is this?
Yeah, and he still doesn't get it. That's what I said earlier, that Mr. Weir and his followers are struggling with grieving loss. They just can't believe that they are no longer in power. How do you spend over $50 million?
To me, this portray campaign.
Of course, the man is literally campaigning.
This is what it portrays. Now there's a guy called Elvis Morris who said pure jealousy. He's not just a man. He's like because he does everything in the country's immediate former president. But is this how? One second, Mr. Elvis Morris. Is this how Obama carries himself? He as nation on earth. Is that how Obama carries himself?
A very good question. Have you seen any former president of the United States conducting himself like that?
Let's move from the United States. Is that how Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, his looked at herself? In as much as I don't agree with everything Ellen did in Liberia as president, but that's not how Ellen carried herself. And you think George Weah is bigger than Ellen? You read the thing? Because George Weah played football, but Ellen is a class in her own right. An international guru.
But Volcano, I would say we should not even
records.
Yeah, we should not even belittle Ellen Johnson. Yeah.
So Mr. Morris, go and rethink. Nobody is jealous over George Weah. We think that his actions is stupid for a former president. What a former president should be doing is having dialogue with a sitting president. How do we move the country forward? He should be sitting there and writing books. He should be giving public speech.
Yeah, but the man should be going globally, talking about leadership.
Still engaging the international community.
Yes.
To help his country. That's what former presidents do. Not to take this movement and turn it into a football player thing. Then you're talking about somebody hit George Weah. Get out of here, my brother. Don't do that.
And I think he's one of the fanatics.
We're not seeing that George Weah is not a celebrity, but sometimes you don't use your celebrity popularity to the detriment of your own image. This is a turn up for me.
It is a turn up for you. It is a turn up for all well-meaning Liberians. And what they are doing has serious security implications. We don't know all these criminals that are running behind him. We don't know what they are taking with them. You have a handful of police officers at the airport. You got all these criminals running behind this man. Do we know what these people were carrying with them? Is this how we're going to do? Continue?
Am I wrong, Mr. Elvis Morris, for saying that George Weah went through the airport like any ordinary citizen, even though he's former president, but with an entourage of people who were not checked. None of his belongings were checked. And we're talking about drugs in the country, and his government had part to play in drugs. Is that not a fair statement? Is that jealousy? Oh, he shouldn't be checked. If we had called the security and say, hey, I'm coming and I just need to go through the VIP, you guys can do all your security business, and that would be fine. That's how a former president should come. A former president should alert the security apparatus that he's returning to the country. They should be planned in advance, and they will provide the security to protect him. Not to loosely come through the airport, walk with his entourage family,
Everybody,
and then all of them together, like one big family, and they're passing, nobody checking, nothing. And then you say somebody jealous over George Weah. For what? Can he walk through Ghana airport, the one that he claimed to be country? Can he walk through France airport that he got citizenship for? Can he do this in the United States that he has citizenship for? I dare him to do this in Ghana. I dare him to do this in France. I dare him to do this in the United States of America. Oh, because Liberia is a loose cannon. Liberia is an irresponsible country. Liberia does not have people who are thinking. Let me bring in Alphonso. Liberia don't have nobody who got sense. So everybody should be stupid, like all of you who are fanatic and diehard. When this man is doing wrong,
we should support it.
Speak about it. This is wrong. That is why the country remains stagnant.
Welcome, Alphonso.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Glad to be here. Sorry, the call of work has stepped in one again and made me late, but I'm happy to be here with you and to join the conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Only in Liberia. So, Alphonso, what we're discussing there, George Weah comes back, brings his private jet on the airport. Some of his former officials of government who are seditions diehard, they assemble on the termite, go meet him, create this
necessary thing.
Welcome line. He shakes their hand just like he's state president, takes his whole entourage, walk through the airport, go through security, nobody stops him, and he comes outside and meet this big crowd that you see here. Everybody cheering him. And we
bunch of hungry people.
Yeah, he's the biggest man, he's the biggest celebrity, he's the most powerful man, he's the former president, so he should do anything and get away with it. That's why people are commenting. You tell me, Alphonso, from a civilized perspective, there has been past leaders in our country. His predecessor, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, never did this.
No.
And I don't think Joe Barker would do this after his term.
No. I mean, anyone who knows leadership would never do that.
This is a public airport. This is the national and only airport that is functioning in the country. Yeah. You bring a market crowd. You bring a football crowd all in front of this airport. Those people had to be there for hours. This in itself creates a scene.
Yeah.
For people who are flying. That's not his only plane coming. The commercial plane coming, bringing passengers, bringing international guests, bringing strangers in the country. And you tell me this is normal?
Yeah.
What's your take?
Yeah. It is not normal. It is not normal. It's symptomatic of the problems in our society. I mean, why should people be encouraged, and why should people take upon themselves in the first place to leave their basic, work, family care, and everything, and come to airport to come meet somebody who's coming? Like, what's in that? Why?
And the man has not been out of the country for 10 years when he coming back. Or he has not been out of the country for the 5 years. He coming back to run campaign.
Oh, man.
Why?
So I just before you come in, what I told Moses, I think he's still reliving the fact that he's thinking he's president. That
man he just can't believe that he's a former president.
Even a president, my brother, you in this country. When last you saw Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, all recent presidents come from out of the country and people go line up to the airport to go meet them?
No way.
Where does that happen?
No.
I mean, it's just a backwardness when people don't have anything concrete. to contribute, they create show. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Why should anybody, people don't have jobs, they don't have food to eat, they don't have anything to do. So somebody go and give them $50, $200, put them on buses and carry them to the
Yeah.
airport to go meet you, and then they go and make noise and create chaos. And this is really sad. If these young people, for example, that I see here, if President Weah, former President Weah, had done something to create jobs for them, they wouldn't be leaving their job. If they have to report to work at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., they will not be leaving their jobs to go to the airport. But this is probably the jobs that they were given. Come meet us to the airport, and then we'll give you $5, $10 so you'll go home and go
Transport,
buy
yeah.
food to eat.
Mhm.
We'll transport you, you know, impoverish the people and enslave them on top of it and turn them into the look at can get on pickups to
Yeah.
go and meet somebody who's going to his house for his
Mhm.
wife and children to eat and you don't even have food to eat.
And
What
they
kind of
don't have.
nonsense is that? The second thing, the second thing is the impact that we have on the economy. How many planes were coming into the country at that
and
time that
and,
now
and,
have
and
to
and
be
this will just disrupt everything like that.
and disrupted all of that. You know, the people coming into the country, the people who are supposed to leave the country. Now you create this chaos and this situation, and some of the planes might be diverted. The second thing, in addition, the third thing in addition to the economy is security. It creates a security nightmare for the security forces and for everybody as well. How can a whole group of people just go to the only airport in the country, jump on the tarmac, and cause this level of chaos? And that's what I want. The final thing is, we are and his people themselves are not even thinking. Anybody can jump in our crowd with a grenade or with someone who made something in the pocket and throw it at you. So if they were thinking, they will even realize that this is not the right thing to do security wise. So I mean, I'll just stop here and we can have that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it is well put because everything you said is absolutely true. There are security implications here. The economy halted unnecessarily, unnecessary distraction for the country, stop the movement of people, and only because you got somebody who is so fixated on the presidency, even though it is an open record that he lacks the pedigree to even lead a group of 10 presidents. You know, everyone knows that Mr. Weah is not a leader. He's not prepared for the job. He's one of the most incompetent presidents in the history of Liberia. His election was indeed a complete mistake. George Weah election as president of Liberia was a mistake. The 6 year under George Weah was nothing but retrogression. And that man is still running around, projecting himself as a leader when he has no skill.
Let me say this tonight, Moses. Uh,
Okay, hello and welcome. We are live here at the Rabos International Airport where sympathizers, supporters, well wishers of former Liberian President
yeah.
gathered here to welcome him.
And Volcano, something quickly I wanted to say, right?
Yeah.
So
Alfonso, you said something. Look, if you watch the video,
recently,
majority of the people you see in this video are all young people. So these are people that are jobless, disengaged, and they just took few dollars and threw it to them, brought them to the airport, gave them free food, and then at the end of the day, they send them back home and get each of them maybe $5 or $3.
Ome, didn't get a children in nothing.
I tell you.
One of them say, yeah, I love, didn't get in nothing. The beginning went over there on their own. And you see they were leading there. Had a few cars, the other one I can hang on it, they will drop in the smell notice. And they will start begging for
Can,
how
can
to
you imagine man you left West Point and how do you get back to West Point?
so nobody. The man said, I love. Let me see. The man said, they go there for money. I'm trying to find it. Go help me. Let me find it. I said, they go there for money. They went there because of love. They love the man. They love the man.
Yeah, I see it.
This
I
is
see
what I
it in
wanted
the
to say
comments.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah, right here. There
but
you go. Listen. I'm very sorry, my
That
brother.
is how it is.
Because of money. We went there because of love. T-Sean Higgins. T-Sean Higgins said, we love George Weah. I will lay my life down for the man. I will die for Georgie.
Yeah.
T-Sean, that's what he's saying. Now, let me say this. This is
And
what I
then
want
and
to, if I,
T-Shine, yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
T-Shine, you have every right to love Joshua and to even lay down your life for Joshua. We're not talking about people loving or not loving Joshua. What we're talking about here is the impact of the actions that you guys are taking to express your love and how that's affecting other people, how that's affecting the country in general, the chaos that that's creating, the impact it's having on the economy and everything. That's what we're talking about. If you want to go to Joey Hall and lay down there or lay down in front of your gate and dance whole day and sleep there and show love, that's fine. That's private property. But when you do that on public property, so much so that it also disrupts other people's freedom of movement and peace and security, then it becomes a problem. That's all we're saying. Anybody can really love whoever you want to love. And the other point I wanted to make is that I blame the government of Liberia, the RIA authorities, the security forces,
I
for
agree.
partially for the chaos that was created at the airport. First of all, nobody who's not traveling should go beyond certain perimeters at the airport.
Of course.
Nobody should be allowed on the tarmac where planes come. If you are a government official and you go to meet somebody, you stay in and you have access to the VIP lounge. You stay in the VIP lounge when the person arrives and you meet them there. You do not go on the tarmac. How many times you see people in this country and other countries just go on tarmac and force their way and go on tarmac? I also don't think that these people push their way past security people. They allow them to go on
Of
the
course,
tarmac.
Kerry did.
Yeah. So
Mm.
again, that's where I blame them. And
Yeah.
I'm making this point to arrive at a conclusion I want to make. That the Boaca administration is will be responsible for whether or not this nonsense continues to happen or it doesn't continue to happen.
I tell you, look at
If
all
they
these
move,
hungry people.
yeah, if they move quickly in to put the necessary security stuff into place at the airport, there will be no fight about who using VIP lounge and who doesn't use VIP lounge, or who goes on airport and who doesn't go on airport on the time, etc. The second thing is they're moving very slowly in terms of investigating and holding some of these people who are
Yes.
creating this chaos responsible for the acts of corruption and crime that it committed over the 6 year period that it had. So the what the other big guy named was Deputy Speaker, the other senators and
Thomas
stuff.
Fala. Thomas Fala.
Thomas, yeah, the
Yeah.
Thomas Fowler, the McGills of the
Bill
world,
Kerry. Yeah.
Bill
Can you
Twerwit,
imagine?
this other
Yeah.
young man who can't
Abu
speak English, who
Kamara,
was at
Alfonso, make
Carlos
your point
Gray.
because I
yeah,
don't want to
and
forget
the
what I want to say. Make your point quick. I don't want to
yeah,
forget
no.
what
So I think if
to
they
stop.
go after these people and hold them accountable and prosecute them for the crimes and take the stolen money away from them, we will not have some of this chaos that we're having today.
Absolutely.
All right, this is what I wanted to say, and I will pause this and bring us to full frame. Yes, because I want to say this and I wanted to be very emphatic. This is what I want to say to all of you who are here tonight who are diehard loyalists to the CDC and supporter of George Weah. George Weah will not be president come 2029. Even if Waka went to sleep and screw up the country, because our presidency in our country is not dependent on a George Weah or a Joe Waka. We're 5.2 million people, and if I would have to run as president of Liberia, I would do that. But George Weah would not be president of Liberia, no matter how much money he stole. I've seen this, mark my word. Just that other people can say it. The woman who are in Lofa and say, hey, Joe Boaga become president, you kill me. I'm not saying you're my cameo.
You see, yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're my cameo.
Yeah. You say,
But
but
I'm
you see, that
telling
it's
you
not
right here
doable.
tonight that George Weah, Joe Boaga, when they are done, they are done. 2029 is a new breed, it's a new day. In fact, people thought that the election of October 10th was the most consequential election. No, 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 no. The most consequential elections of
It's
Liberia
29,
is
yeah.
2029. And why? Let me make my point. We think that there are only two political parties that are shining, the CDC and the UP. But it doesn't have to be a political party to change the hem of power. It has to be someone who can make the case. That person could be independent. That person could come from a lowly party. That person could be a dark horse, like in the case of Appeton, who was determined where people were thinking Cummings and Gonglo and other people. The no-name Appeton came from nowhere. That's what's going to happen in our country comes 2029. George Weah would not be president. The issues room will be here. We'll propagate the message. We'll enlighten and we'll make the case. Because what this guy and his group did to our country, and they're still emboldened by their actions to come and do this kind of nonsense all day and every day, the money will finish and they will not be in power again. Now, don't get me wrong. You, the Liberian people, when you're ready, you're act like you smoke the cooch, you smoke the cocaine or sniff the cocaine, or you drink enough cane juice that when you get to the pool, you can allow small thing to fool your eye. But by the time you get to 2029, the things that you will see, the country that you will see, people that we are them will be obsolete, they will be gone, they will disappear because new breed of politicians will come to shine to change that country. We cannot settle for George Weah again. And if Joe Biden screws up, we cannot settle for Joe Biden in the UP. New breeds of politician Liberia will change. And 2029 will be the greatest election in the history of changing our country for the good. That's my position. So people go on believing that because he creating this kind of nonsense, yeah, he's still relevant. Go there, fool yourself. You think that you can fool some people, but you can't fool the people, all the people. You can fool some people, but you can't fool all the people. And it was manifested with $50 million they stole from the country's
Wealth, yeah.
campaign to pay people to vote for them. Yet on a small margin,
The
he
big
lost the elections.
Mhm.
He will not win elections again. It's over. He's shown to the world he can be a president and a former president, because a former president should be preparing himself if he's serious about coming to 2029 in the way that a president should behave, not like this. Gentlemen,
Acting like a kid. And I also want to throw my weight behind you. I want to say that George Weah, uh, his election in 2017 was an error. Mr. Weah would no longer come closer to the presidency of Liberia again. I can tell you, just ask yourself, Volcano. I mean, Liberians are too intelligent. Liberians are too intelligent. For the fact that Mr. Weah spent over $50 million in 2023, a political party that spent less than $500,000 beat him. It means that Mr. Weah has now become irrelevant in Liberian politics. He can go to heaven and come down. The CDC must find something better to do. George Weah is now something of the past. He can never be president again. This man, his election, let me re-emphasize, was a significant error in the history of Liberia. And Alfonso, I give it to
yeah,
you.
and just before Alfonso comes in, if you're telling me that the CDC is George Weah and George Weah is the CDC, then you citizens have problems. Because I'm sure over the period of the establishment of the CDC as a formidable political institution, by now you should be looking within to start grooming for successive leadership than for you to be focused on one footballer who don't give a crap, who just want to run around and play ball. Alfonso?
Yeah. And if Josh Weah wants to run in 2029, be president, and he hasn't been prosecuted and he's not in jail and he qualified to run to be president, he has every right to run to be president. But that doesn't mean that he must disrupt our peace, he must disrupt our economy and create chaos because he wants to be president. That's a procedure to follow. Again, having all of these people descend on the airport, I was reading the comments and somebody was saying somebody, and actually a number of people got delayed, their flights got delayed because of this nonsense that was
Can you
happening
imagine
there.
that?
So yeah,
Look
so
at it.
there's
Look at all
somebody,
the hungry people over there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's real impact. If Judge Weah want to be president, what he should be doing is trying to bring businesses, the businesses he failed to bring for the 6 years he was president. Go and bring businesses, go and open some jobs and factories. Let these young people get jobs so they
But
can feed their families and themselves.
Alfonso, let's make this point quick.
Yeah.
The man is gone. He gone. You said it. You earlier said it. The man gone with his family.
The man left them
Man left.
already.
Yeah.
Why they stay in front of the airport
Yeah.
and still disrupting
Yeah.
the flow of traffic?
Yeah.
What? And
Yeah,
I blame
exactly.
the so-called security people at the airport. I blame the airport management,
Exactly.
and I blame the Joseph Boakai government.
Yeah.
I blame the Liberia airport authority. Okay, the man he finished now. He gone. He left. What is they doing around here with Red Berry and jumping all over the place? What the other man
But
say?
they have to get home now. Volcano, no ride.
Yeah, somebody has to take them.
Let us start walking. Let us start walking. This is not. I don't know. We are private property and I'm not a fence. Let us go to Jamaica Resort and make the noise there. They shouldn't be there.
No boss standing around, so at least Joe we can send an envelope.
But what
to pay the
trouble is
people
that process?
They're feeling welcoming the people now.
Yeah, they gotta send the envelope to pay the people.
They're feeling
away.
welcoming the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bishop has gotten their car and left. Now nobody to open the envelope, pay their way to go. They're mailing around.
Yeah.
That's what the situation is. The man, what's all pay that? You gone. Say, y'all follow me.
How do people follow you?
Y'all follow me. Let's go to the party.
The man give a looking down. He said, "Remember follow you."
Y'all follow me to the party. Y'all follow me to the party. Y'all follow me to the party headquarters. We'll pay you. But the man can get to the party headquarters. That's another way of eating the money. The man get there and say, "Well, I was there. You didn't come. I paid the people."
So let's come back in the context of this conversation. For those of us who've been to Liberia, this is where people get dropped off and get picked up for a route departure.
Yeah.
You create this kind of nonsense. People are lounge here. The man has come and gone, and yet they are impeding the flow of traffic and people who want to leave or arrive.
Yeah, no transportation.
President Boakai, please listen to me tonight. If not you, Memekai, what the other man in Sylvester, you're running the show. This is absolute nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. This is our only national and international airport in the country that is operable or operable. You put the word right.
Yeah.
And to see that the man has come, the George Weah got in his convoy and he left. For these people to still be lingering around the airport premises and right in front of the very basic part of the airport, this is wrong.
Absolutely.
This has to stop. The next time we see this kind of stuff happening, this would prove to us that to some degree the Boakai government is showing ineptability. We said it for Weah, and we say it for Boakai if you don't take action. The same way we give George Weah the opportunity to correct some of his wrong, we point out those wrongs and we give him opportunity and we put forth solutions. We're offering solution now. Here's my solution. Nobody is taking away the former presidency title from, or former president title rather, from Mr. Weah. Nobody is taking away the amenities that he must enjoy, even though he didn't give it to other people. Nobody is taking away the record he set. It's there. It's in the archive. But what we want happen for a former president is that when the president is leaving, whether he wants to make it big or small, he must first alert the security because he has to leave the country and his passport must be stamped. I don't think he can just get on the plane and go and just leave the country like that. If that's the way it works, then fine. But when he returns, his passport should be stamped. Where is he coming from? Where did he go? At least he must respect the immigration rule at the airport and his entourage. And if we're going to create a small conduit through which he must come through the airport, then it must be protected through security means and measures. And he must be checked the same way as any other person who is going through the airport. We don't say he has to go through the general population like he came through, but let him enjoy his amenity and benefits in the context of being a former president, not to come out here and turn this thing into a campaign or a football field that people just come and start jumping all over the place and block the airport. Mr. Barker, President Barker, and your government, don't let this happen again. Not for Weah, not for Ellie, not for any so-called former government official or even government official. What happened today is only reserved for the president, his foreign guest, the vice president. Of course, we can accept, but not even ministers.
No.
Not even ministers. This shouldn't happen. That's my position.
I mean, well said. Go ahead, Alfonso.
No, you're 100% correct. And as I said before, this blame for this chaos goes on the airport authorities and other security forces that are assigned at that place. There are perimeters that are established. Take somebody to Philadelphia Airport or to JFK or to whatever. You can't go inside. You can't go past certain line, no matter where you are. You can't. To Ghana, you can't go past certain lines. You cannot. So again, they have to establish that system. I want to believe that these people who jammed the airport and see that woman pulling her bag.
I would say the woman that had a ball way outside there, all the way to over there with her.
Most of those people then miss their flight.
And you see she's trying to go to departure. You can see departure.
Yeah.
Where's she going?
That is a traveler who pay her money, but the guy went and disrupted her.
The woman right
here.
Yeah.
That poor woman. You see her? She mad.
Yeah.
She pass all of these people to go to departure and they're blocking the road. What kind of nonsense is this? What civilized country is this?
Yep. It's not a civilized country. A country where these people, that's not a civil. Now, let's just take that woman. The business people, the people who want to come and see the country and see how it's looking before they come and invest. Imagine they come and run into this situation. What they would tell, the would-be investors when they come back. The people who flight was coming.
Look at the man's face. What the man can tell? Look at the man who look like he not smoke all day. You can't say being interviewed. What type of trouble we see in the country?
They drive that man, some gonna fall out.
The man say doing interview. Look at the other man.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
The blow went to West Point. They just, went to Nuguta and just told the people and said, "Let's go bring him man."
What are you talking? We will be president.
Forget about why you talking. The way the sun hot, then he wear hoodie.
Yeah, and I can't great had on hoodie.
No.
That we see there.
Winter there.
No, but it could also be a hot day, right, Alfonso?
It was so hot that man wear hoodie. It's a hot day. You can get his stroke. You can die.
Let hear what he got. I want us to hear what he got was saying.
You see that hungry man? Former foreign minister. Look at Kimaya. Look how hungry Kimaya, man.
So apparently they're waiting for the document there or what? They left it there and the people left. Then you see,
Look at that. Look at that.
you see,
You were fighting.
you see.
Do we need that?
So if a citizen trying to leave, you will stop him from going
Yeah.
because y'all take over the airport.
Can you imagine that, my man?
Look at that girl. Wow.
Look at that. Unnecessary distraction, my man. And they got a policeman instead of
Another
helping to
policeman
continue the
thing.
situation, he's taking picture. You know.
Oh,
He's
gentlemen,
taking picture.
we have had this conversation, and it's great that we talk about it. Let's go to memory lane because it's 8:28.
Yeah.
I tell you, our country has a long way to go. The mindset, the way people think, you know, my brother, education is an important tool to change your mind.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate that we haven't gotten to that point yet. But memory lane here is a tool for education. The one here we have tonight is the continuation of the Millsburg War. And this is part 3, G, the final battle, written by Dr. Manin Sumo, a contributor here to the issues room. And so the quest for a homeland continued. The settlers of freed men of color were ever more determined to be called citizens of a nation. They were not citizens of the United States or any nation for that matter. They were called free men of color. But they too wanted to be called citizens. In our deja vu, we wanted them to be called citizens. The indigenous, especially so the Golas, were afraid of losing their homeland to a people of their kind shadowed by the presence of the white man. The indigenous, knowing the ramification of slavery, they never trusted a white man again. And so in 1827, King Zolu Duma died after 5 years of struggle with the settlers over land acquisition. He was succeeded by his son Jala Fengi or Fenji. Unlike his father, King Jala Fenji was a weak leader, leaving the Gola kingdom falling into the hands of the settlers. By then, the settlers had built a strong army headed by Reverend Lot Carey, a Baptist missionary. Lot Carey was commonly referred to as the Reverend General, who won battles in favor of the settlers. At the peak of the Millsburg Gola War, the people of Sasstown in present-day Sano County, in solidarity with the Golas, sent a reinforcement troop of Kru warriors to support the Golas. Lokere, upon receiving the news, laid an ambush and intercepted the Kru warriors. The Kru and Gola warriors were defeated in the fight for Millsburg. The spot in present-day Bombing County where the ambush occurred later became a village built by some of the surviving warriors. The village was named Be Sali in Gola and eventually named Sasstown in honor of the Sasstown warriors of Sano County. In the Gola dialect, Be means a place and Sali means flies. So Be Sali means flies town because the area was overwhelmed by flies after the ambush. The Gola and Kru solidarity has come a long way. I come in peace. And this is written by Dr. Manin Sumo and is the Millsburg War, chapter 3 or part 3. And maybe he might come with part 4, but we'll wait and see. Gentlemen, we just
Yeah.
want to reiterate that we will be changing our broadcast time and day. For many of you, our viewers tonight, we had, strategized to make this thing work because we're working adults. We don't have the time to go stand on the airport to look for Joe Biden or stand there and wait for Donald Trump. And we got to do our jobs. And in as much as we want to support the discourse in Liberia, we also want to ensure that we can do it in a way that is possible. So we'll continue our broadcast 2 days a week until September 15th, 2024, the day after our anniversary. Our broadcast will now be only on Sunday, 3 p.m. East Coast time and 7 p.m. GMT, meaning Liberia, or 8 p.m. when the time changes in the fall into winter. So again, we want to reiterate that for us to do this and stay able to do it, we have agreed that the Issues Room broadcast will change to Sunday only at 3 p.m. to give our Liberian audience the opportunity to be a part of the conversation. And we want to be able to move further with this podcast. So we'll be doing Sunday starting September 15, 2024, 3 p.m. In American time, 7 p.m. Liberia GMT, or 8 p.m. So please, please, please be aware that we'll continue Tuesdays and Fridays until September 15, 2024. Any thought?
Yeah, we're all in the agreement that that's what we're going to do, and we're doing this because we have a very serious interest in our people in Liberia. We want them to be a part of the discussion. We want to reach them because we are one of the finest social media platforms around here. We don't come here literally, putting one another down, shouting over one another. We come well researched. We know the issues.
Moses,
I think it's important.
take a pause on
Yeah.
your thought. Read this for me.
Yeah. See, the problem with many of you on this show is superiority
No
syndrome.
superiority syndrome.
See, yes, superiority syndrome. You think because you are in America, you think you're better than people in Liberia. It is your opportunity. You guys are not better than anyone. Is that what we see? We have never said something like that. We are basically saying that Mr. Weir is abusing our people. That's all we're saying, Freddie. Freddie, don't confuse the conversation. If you are in Liberia, you are jobless, I would do the same thing.
Moses, Freddie
Yeah.
is suffering from the Stockholm syndrome. He's still in love with his abuser. He's still in love with the person who pillaged,
Yeah, that's true.
left him in detriment. He's still in love with somebody who didn't care for him,
Mhm.
who just threw a little bit to him and think that okay, this is the best for him. Freddie, you're bigger than that. Freddie, you're better than that. Freddie, this is not because we're in America. We're in America because we worked hard to be here. We didn't store away. We didn't walk by land to come here. We came here the right way. We have stayed here the right way. We have gotten educated here the right way. We have gotten employed here the right way. And we're working in the context of the right way. We follow the rule. And we think that many Liberians can do the same even in Liberia. If I were to leave my job to go to the Republican convention, and I didn't take a day off, I'm on the clock, but I just decided to go, what do you think gonna happen to me?
The other job, my
I'm
brother.
out of a job. You don't put party before your life. You don't put party before your well-being. You don't put a single man before. That means you are a fanatic.
Of course.
That means you are a diehard, and you don't see anything wrong with that.
Mhm.
And then you say we are going through the superiority syndrome.
Syndrome.
You are wrong. We're looking up for you. We're looking up for the ordinary Liberians who cannot see, who are not enlightened by the actions of these people. We want to tell you it's wrong. You need to speak up for yourself. And if you are contemplating 2029 to bring the same man back, then you have a serious problem. Then you have a serious problem. If President Bouaka failed miserably, if you, the Liberian people, choose to bring him back, I will stand to say you're wrong. So nobody here taking side. Our country has suffered too long. My people, do you know we have fire hydrant? Freddie, do you know what they call fire hydrant? Freddie, do you know what they call street payphone? Do you know Liberia has street payphone? Freddie, you think the funny thing, Joe, where I was broken down and said that street light, you think I was a street light in Liberia normal time? Freddie, do you know we had sidewalks? Do you know we had crosswalk? To just put a roundabout, Freddie, let me finish, Moses, please hold.
No, go ahead.
Videos.
Educate Freddie a little bit.
There to show you that you are so backwards. You're so uncivilized now in this dispensation. Thousands and thousands of you don't even know what a crosswalk is. A crosswalk. They put the line, they say that where you must walk, so when the car knock you down the car the problem. But no, you leave it. People walking all through the roundabout, helter-skelter. Police got to jump in front of you and say, hey, go on the line. Motorbike coming through, he know whose side to go, he confused. And we're telling you what civilization is, and you're telling us we feel superior. We are educating you, my brother. This is nothing to do with being in America. Maybe you don't know me. I was a journalist in Liberia. I worked on the radio. We talked about these things even in the Taylor time when things were not looking good. We talked about it during the war when things were not looking good. We talked about these things. So please don't show your limitation here. Expand your horizon. Start to study. Start to look around you. Start to think well. Think better. Think for yourself, for your children. We put your picture up here. We see the small leg here. Got your little baby there.
Exploiting that.
You put down
do that, yeah.
That little baby need a better education. Do you think the education that we have gave you the other day that the right education there? I'm a normal time student. I went to Liberia. Went to school in Liberia the normal time. That's not the time yet. The school you're going to now. Can you imagine somebody graduating from K1, K2, K3, every class that graduation? Because the school stealing from parents. Every class you graduate from there. Children 10-year-old they stay in K1 because they're keeping them there just so they can pay money. Freddie, man, you stop that kind of thing, man. We kind of come here a little bad, but sometimes the way you can talk, it make us to speak the colloquial jetta, y'all. And I won't speak colloquial. I won't speak standard English.
You gotta go back home by.
That's why I was born speaking in Liberia.
No, man.
I didn't come to America before I learned to speak standard English. I'm trying to tell Eddie here, Freddie here, that we were at a place one time called a normal country. And Alphonso, I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. We were one time called a place of a normal country. So because Eddie doesn't know what a roundabout is and a crosswalk, and Eddie does not know that a fire hydrant was around Monrovia and its environs, that a fire truck, when it comes, it didn't gotta go look for water or to the creek and the well. We already have fire hydrant. Because Eddie did not see a payphone on the street, because Eddie did not see street light and Joe, we are putting solar panel, solar energy. Then they say, oh, the men are bringing the first street light in the country. What type of nonsense is this? Let me rest my case, man. I'm tired about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead, Alphonso.
Yeah, I think the point here is clear. And Freddie even said that if those people suggested, may have comment in the chat that even if those people had jobs, they wouldn't go line up on the airport waiting for Josh Weah. That's a very, very important point. For 6 years, Josh Weah failed to create jobs for those young people. And now he's misusing them. Calling them to the airport to come welcome him, and then they cook rice at the party headquarters, getting small money to eat to go home. That's wrong. That is abuse. Beyond that, disrupting normal flow of traffic, normal flow of goods and services, normal travel at the airport is wrong. Creating the chaos that they created over there is wrong. That's just the point we're making. We're not talking about whether or not George Weah want to be president, or whether he can be president, or whether anybody is better than another person here. I don't think that any one of us has said that here. We're saying that instead of our leaders investing in creating jobs and making our people independent and respectable and responsible for themselves, they create situations where the people can follow them and the people's livelihood can be dependent on them. And that's wrong. That's the point we're making.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah. If those people over there had to report to work at 7 in the morning, if they didn't report to work, they will lose their jobs. You think they will be hanging on pickup trucks and go to to airport to go meet somebody and his family that are coming with all their food and their in their bags and their expensive clothes and everything, and you're running behind them.
Yeah.
That's not right. That is abuse, and that system needs to be changed, and we need to criticize the system for it to be changed. And that's exactly what we're doing. Nobody's projecting superiority here because nobody's superior. Of course, it's all opportunity. But wherever you are, you can try to create opportunity there and do not allow other people to take advantage of you and to abuse you just so you can find daily bread. That's exactly the point that we're making.
Absolutely.
Now, I like the tune that Freddie is using now. It's not unique to we are alone. It's a common practice in Liberia. It's only happening because our people are jobless. The problem is not the people, but our politicians. The people are victims of the circumstances. Now, Freddie, you're talking.
Yeah, yeah. Freddie, you coming across now
Now, Freddie, you're trying to
as
add
a smart man. Yeah.
substance to the conversation, but equally, the people also cannot remain in the same mode. The people must begin to think, even outside of education, even outside of civilization, there were governance. Our chiefs, they had governance. Our chiefs made wise decisions. So thank you, Freddie, for coming around. Thank you. We appreciate you. Now, the other guy that needs to come around is Mr. Aaron Kofache. He says that why are you projecting the man's kid? No, no, no. We're just trying to make a comparison to the situation. But then you went on to say that if you say I went to school, Volcano went to school, why am I struggling to express myself? My brother, I'm not struggling to express myself. I only struggle to talk like a Liberian when I'm speaking the colloquial. That's what is happening. Because the colloquial that I know is not the one that in Liberia today you say brabi, hey, pro.
I don't even know where to come from.
I had to ask the question, what is Brabi? They said, a big brother. You understand me?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, Brabi, a big brother. Pro, and, you know, and the polati, all kind of funny things. That's not
I
my
know which one I call black.
la. La, that means the expression of la means that la,
The
that show off. That's also la, just show off. So if I were not going to Liberia to catch up
Yeah.
on some of these things, I will be lost. Local Mr. Aaron Kofa, don't take it against me. Don't take
So
it
you
against
learn me, man. You learn me how to express yourself the way it's supposed to.
See,
Hey, Freddie. Freddie, you
the,
see, making it thing personal. Showing your little baby girl what had nothing to do with it. Now you still telling me, I agree she was born in America and she's African American. That's great. I was not trying to know you or know history. I was picking up on what you were saying. And what you say sometimes is it has to be addressed. It's an open conversation. Please, let us not do this. Please, let's not do this. Thank you. Thank you. What type of country is this, my man? That people putting their lives on the line for a big criminal who
Yeah.
stole their money, who brag about it, who riding private jet at their expense, and the rainy season coming and creating flood, the
Mhm.
houses under water, then they cry, my people, you please help us. Hey,
Yeah.
my people. You bring people, you come to our rescue.
What
Never
what about
this.
what about countries you live in West Point? The people working off our client the money to go to RI, Lemeka and Elia at the airport. They said, my man, you're me at the party headquarters. He said, but I will get there. They said, oh, my man, you're fire own way. Oh.
Andrew, what type of country is this? And then
the,
because you get far away now, then you're just standing in front of the airport and you're saying,
my man, so my man girl, I will let you know. I said, my man, you see the paper going, I must stand here and be giving your thing. You
Yeah,
follow?
it's a professor who go to the party headquarters.
Let's go to the matter
And
work
then,
when we
the
finish
next
with it.
kid from West Point, he can't get to RI, and they just remember making the party headquarters.
Oh, God. Look, but
but yeah,
yeah,
so what type of country is this? A former president still want to act like a president. And then the president has said, now who's going to take action like my man Gange?
Yeah, yes, and I look at him.
Say he's scared. Eh?
Wow. You are trying to do a gange? I beg you, yeah.
Gange that
The papa said,
But I
the
see
papa
Gange that
said,
scared. You remember Gange said, oh, they picking I want my job. He said, no, man, give it, he go about.
the papa said, y'all just leave the boy. Y'all leave him. We don't want no trouble. Y'all just leave.
Yeah. Hey, Freddie ready helping now. Freddie said, what is the current regime doing? Freddie, you were right here. We talk about it. We said the Papa Act. We put more in too. We said it. We said all the report now auto it.
Yeah.
Say nobody here for no government. We not
You're
here
right, Freddie.
for
You're
liberation.
right. You're right. I think the current administration is dragging its feet too slowly. So you're right. We need to put fire on their backs, their tortoise, so they can move fast and prosecute those people. Not just in we are government, but even the government before we are and the current administration.
And we spoke about that. That if they
Mhm.
want to come across as credible, then they should start with themselves.
So
Yeah.
so this other brother here, Mr. Aaron Kovachi, he said we're calling, we're showing our limitations. We're calling, and let me say my limitation. I will not speak for my
Say you are calling someone a criminal.
calling someone criminal in the absence of competent verdict, court verdict, whatever it is. But you forget to be remember and be reminded that the American ambassador say the government of President Weah is a government of who? Moses.
Kleptocracy, government of thieves.
Okay, so so
And so then I go tell the Americans why they refer to the administration of government of thieves.
Aaron, go ask the American ambassador first who made that expression because he's more informed than me.
Yeah.
If he come up with that declaration, Aaron Cheer, that we as government was a government of kleptocrat
Kleptocracy.
critics, eh?
Thieves. Yeah.
Then don't ask me that question. Don't ask me it.
But in fact, Chia knows
Competent.
everything we're talking about. Yeah, Volcano, let me just help Chia. Everything we're talking about here is public record. And if you were going to the nation's coffers and take over $50 million to run a campaign, everywhere you turn Monrovia, there's a billboard with George Weah.
Every lipo.
Every lapo, you see the photo of Mr. Weah. If that doesn't tell you that this guy is a thief, then I beg to differ with you, my brother.
All the man comes to power immediately start building condominium.
Yeah, yeah, all over the place. Then he say, oh, they ain't getting mad to court, oh. Who told you?
Go and look at John Weah picture when he was senator, and look at his picture
Yeah.
uh, after he left the presidency. Then you tell me if that he paid that he was living on. Let's leave that talk. But Moses, man, Alfonso, gentlemen, thank you.
Great show, my
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Great
Mhm.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Great to be with you.
Great show. And I just want to say that I hope that we were able to drive some senses into the heads of all these young people that Mr. Weah and his people are exploiting, that they will begin to have a second thought. There's no future. With John Weah, you have no future. It's all about himself, 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 himself. Give you a second thought. That's what we call what? Self-appraisal. Sit down in our room. Sit over your fufu. He said, but wait now. That man was president, I was 20. I'm 26 now. I still living with my mom. To even get food, say my man ain't gotta help me. And I'm still running around. So, secret, secret, secret. Is this the life I'm going to live? If the answer is no, then you gotta move forward. That's my advice, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you guys. Good to be with you all tonight. Look forward to our next meeting.
Sure. Great. Rob. Okay. It was a pleasure. Bye
All
bye.
right, let me just run down the trail quick here. Aaron, Kovacic, come back again. We'll be here on Friday. Let's do a lot of engagement. Fred, listen, my brother, thank you for your perspective. I am in agreement. We should look back to Ellen as well. and I've said that the issues room said that time immemorial. Maybe this is your first time here, so you wouldn't know what the context of the conversation is because you just joining for the first time. But we have our past broadcasts. Go back and listen. We have 246 broadcasts on YouTube. You can find them. We've been around for nearly 3 years. We'd like to thank Thomas Awaji for coming in here tonight. Aaron Kovachie, come again. We appreciate your comments. There's no censorship here. All we do is just to be civil, no insults. Just we have a fun section, and that's what we do. We throw some joke out there because it's a form of therapy. We'd like to thank Alexander Boniface, Emmanuel Hayes, also for showing up here. Ella Hook, good to see you, sis. Thank you for coming. I'm sure you'll be at the wedding next Saturday in the South. So hopefully I'll get to see you. Thomas Awaji, again, yeah, it's always good, my brother, to see you. Raymond Clark, thank you. Thank you for joining. We'd like to say thank you to T. Sean Higgins. Come again. It's always good. Have an alternative view. River says Pro, what's going on, my man? It's been a while. I hope you're doing great. We haven't heard from you in a little bit. Andrew D. Colley, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Stop by again. It was a pleasure having you. Hashim Fambula, always good to see you. Of course, the rest of you, Tony and Brooks, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate your viewership. Christopher Wesley, Boniface, thank you for coming in. Elder Ebenezer Tukba, of course, everyone won't be on the same frequency and wavelength. Derek Dwet, thank you. Martin Tiguba Mena, thank you also for joining us here tonight. We appreciate your time. Elvis Morris, of course, Amma Freeman. We'd like to just recognize you. It's always good to see a lot of you. Adiaha Umo, thank you, man, for coming, man. Always good to see you. Angel Miata, thank you. Come again. Ibrahim Bengu, always good to see new folks. We appreciate Jade Larry Talu. Thank you for joining us. Darwin Winker, it was a pleasure having you here in the Issues Room. Again, we're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Standard Time here in the States, and then 11 p.m. in Liberia. So for you, our folks in the Liberian audience, we appreciate your viewership. Moses Momolu, thank you. James Davis, of course, our big brother out there in upper Pennsylvania. I'm a friend on the rest of you guys. Good night, and we'll be back here on Friday, God's willing. Volcano Shelton on behalf of Moses, Sandy, and Alphonso Yeno, the Issues Room 247 broadcast, July 16, 2024. Good night, everyone.